Hello, everybody, and welcome to the top 5 new comics for November 30th and December 1st of 2021. I am, as always, Chris, and by YouTube law, I must say, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, comment down below, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. I appreciate it very much. Enough of that, let's talk about some comics, starting with Justice League Incarnate number 1. This was written by Joshua Williamson and Dennis Culver with art by Brendan Peterson and Andrei Bressan. I really loved the Infinite Frontier mini that they did, that Joshua wrote, and I love where it was going. I love what it was doing. I love the team it collected. At the end of the day, you put Captain Carrot in the team. I'm there, 100%. But we've got cool characters like President Superman from Earth 23. We've got Flashpoint Batman. We've got an alternate version of Aquaman, Flash, Captain Marvel, Shazam, and others. And we're going to pick up where Infinite Frontier left off with a possible new superhero, probably new supervillain. I'm just putting my own flavor in there. I have no inside knowledge on that. But this character, Dr. Multiverse from Earth 8. This team's been tasked with saving the multiverse from threats. No more crises, no more big issues, no more of this bullshit. People are sick of the world being rebooted every so often, and this team has been set with the task of stopping that. Really looking forward to this. Really enjoyed the previous mini that led up to this. So here we go. And gotta say, Joshua Williamson, dude's been grinding for years, been doing great work. And I think he's hitting his stride right now. I can't think of anyone better to be leading DC in the writer's room than him. His stuff's been phenomenal. And I'm looking forward to his Batman. After that, we've got Gotham City Villains, Anniversary Giant number 1. This has stories written by G. Willow Wilson, Joshua Williamson, Dan Waters, Marguerite Scott, Philip Kenny Johnson, Stephanie Phillips, Wes Craig, and Danny Devito, with art by Jill Thompson, Khary Randolph, Christian Ward, Emma Royce, Ariel Christina, Max Fuirmara, Max Raynor, Skylar Patridge, Dan Mora, and Gabriel Walter. So we got basically a 100-page giant. It's a 96-page giant, but basically a 100-page giant, $10 book here for you all. I really love these collected giants. I think not only is it a great way to get some cool stories out of talent we know. I mean, we got Joshua Williamson, Stephanie Phillips, Philip Kenny Johnson, and G. Willow Wilson. But we've got people I'm not familiar with. Marguerite Scott, Dan Waters, Wes Craig, and whoever this Danny DeVito guy is. Joking aside with Danny, the other three, not super familiar with, and a lot of the art teams, Randolph, Ward, Patridge, Royce, so on and so forth, not super familiar with their work, so it's a great way to show them off in a collection that people will most likely pick up. And we got stories with Poison Ivy, Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, Mad Hatter, Killer Moth, the original Red Hood, Joker, and I'm sure a few others will show up as well, different villains from Gotham City. And what's going to drag most people in, and I'm glad there's something that drags people in so they can check out the other work, but Danny DeVito is writing a Penguin story. And Danny hasn't done much with the Penguin that I'm aware of since he did the Batman Returns movies, so it's kind of cool that he's returning for that. And I look forward to seeing what all these people do and the different stories they tell in this. So look forward to that. After that, got Daredevil, number 36. This is written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Art-Manuel Garcia. the final issue of Daredevil. There will never be another Daredevil. I'm joking, of course. Yeah, so this is the final issue of Daredevil. We're wrapping up the story arc that we're going through right now. If you're not reading Daredevil, it's a terrible time to jump on. But it is leading into something else, Devil's Reign, that Chip is doing with, not Costa. Who's the... I apologize, I forgot the artist's name. But, so this is going to lead into that. This Daredevil run's been phenomenal. One of my favorites in a long time. And that's saying a lot because there's been a lot of really good Daredevil runs in my life. As a fan of Daredevil, I've been blessed with some great creative teams. So it's a mainstay. I think it's a book that everybody should be reading. Just my personal opinion. Daredevil's been phenomenal. If you're not reading it, go back to issue 1 and start. It's awesome. Just awesome. After that, we've got Odins Eye, number 1. This is from Bad Idea Comics. Written by Joshua Dysart with art by Art-Tomas Giorello. So I was lucky enough to talk to Joshua about this on our podcast, Fortress Comic News podcast. Look that up and you can get more insight into this and more of Dysart's work. I like what he's doing here. He's not just telling the typical Odin story. He kind of went back and told a different version of the Odin story. A version that's not as widely known as the one we know. But it does center around Odin losing his eye. The little girl has to go find him, and kind of the world that's told in that. So I just really, really look forward to it. I think it's gonna be awesome. Joshua, although I've been known to have an issue with his Harbinger run, I do really enjoy his work. I've read a bunch of his stuff. He's a phenomenal writer, and he's just a very thoughtful writer. He's a guy who constantly is learning and changing and adapting to make his work better. And I see that with everything he does, and the way he just consistently tries to go back and realize what mistakes he's made and try to make them better. So really, 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 really looking forward to this. If you're not familiar with Bad Idea, it's a different business model. I've once again been very lucky to talk to both the guys running Bad Idea as well on the podcast, and they just have a way that they're doing it that's not the typical way. So it can be hard to find. What I'll say is I'll give you the links in the show notes. You can check down there, or the YouTube notes, sorry. This isn't my podcast. In the YouTube notes with the links to Bad Idea's website, which gives you a link to all the people who are selling Bad Idea comics, and then a link to the place where I get my Bad Idea comics, which is Comics on the Green in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Use either of those tools to get it. I do know some people get them from like Midtown, some other places as well. That's all up to you. I suggest first going to the Bad Idea website and seeing if there's someone local to you, because in my opinion, local is always better. But if you can find it, this book looks awesome. And I am going to end on King of Spies number 1. This is written by Mark Millar with art by Art-Matteo Scalera. So this was first announced. I was really excited because I love spy stuff. I'm a very easy man to please. But I also, Millar's done spy stuff in the past. We all know Kingsman, which was Secret Service in the comics. And he's done some cool stuff in the Marvel Universe in the past with Captain Britain. I don't think he wrote Captain Britain MI6, but he was one of the guys behind that. He did Civil War. He's done a bunch of cool stuff over his years. And based on his pedigree with spy stuff, I'm more in than I would if it was just some random dude doing the spy thing. That said, I'll try most spy stuff out. But I also just, being a Bond fan, love the British spy aspect of it. That's always great. But this one obviously has somewhat of a twist. We have the world's greatest secret agent of all time. He's the greatest ever. And he finds out he has 6 months to live. And he has to kind of go back, and he goes back and realizes he made a lot of mistakes. He's been part of a system that wasn't fair and wasn't just. So he tries to go back and fix as many of his sins as he can. So I like the premise. I like the character, the design, at least, that we got here. And I'm just really excited for it. Millar's a guy that can be, what's the appropriate word for it? You either love him or hate him in most cases. But I really do think that Millar does do some good work in comics. And although there's been some criticisms of him over the years, he's still written some great comics. So that's all I got to say on that. Really look forward to that. What a great slate of books. Once again. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Remember, check out the podcast, Fortress Comic News podcast. We do an interview every week. We're getting towards the end of the year, so the interviews are going to tail off for the last couple weeks of the year. Holidays are weird. They're tough. We're an indie operation here. I just don't do interviews for the last couple weeks. But we still do podcasts, so you will have episodes. So check that show out. And as we said in the front, if you're enjoying the videos, please subscribe. I appreciate it. Thumbs up the video. Helps us in the algorithm. Comment. Let me know what you're looking forward to. I always enjoy reading those and getting comments with you guys and talking. So enjoy it a lot. Thank you all once again so much for watching this week. I will see you all here next week.